ever fancied your chances as a spy, you know, 007? Let me tell you two stories that happened to me, okay? Because I got detained by authorities twice on suspicion of spying. Okay, the first time was umpteen years ago. It was about it was about 23, 24 years ago, something like that, and I'd gone to Cyprus. Okay, and the series of events that happened are just ridiculous. I'd gone over there with a girl that I was with, and we were married for a brief period of time. And when we went over there, we got married, and then we went on honeymoon. Okay, and we were staying at some hotels, sort of moving around, having a good time. Anyway, what had happened previous to that was that I was stopped by the police, plainclothes police, while I was out snake hunting. I had a snake stick, a bucket, a knife, and they stopped me and asked me what I was doing in these fields. And I said, well, I'm snake hunting. I said, oh, the bucket's for the snakes then, is it? I said, no, actually it's for snails, because I actually found out of season snails where they were hibernating. I don't eat them, but some people do, so I was gathering them up. So that was that. You'd think that was the end of that, okay? But what happened after that, and then after that, is just turned this into a complete and utter joke. Whilst I was out doing my stuff and what have you, you know, and finding different things, I got hold of a little seedling, that big, okay? And it was a marijuana seedling. So I uprooted it. And on my way back from snake hunting, I used to stop in a cafe where I had some friends, and, you know, I'd show them what I'd caught. You know, I've got a viper or a whip snake or whatever I found. And this time I turned up with that. I said, yeah, look at that, look what I found. So they were looking at it and they were laughing. So that was the end of that. You know, we were drinking our coffees and smoking and talking and laughing and all the rest of it. And then we all went home. Now, some idiot took that, okay, and went and planted it. And someone went and grassed him up, okay? And he got arrested. Okay? And I didn't know about this. And I'd had a conversation with this other guy about a little FM transmitter I'd bought. It was that big and it had a little wire on it. It had a range of about 15 feet, I think. So we were plotting what nonsense we could get up to with it. Anyhow, all of these things built into a picture in the mind of a policeman who'd arrested that other guy for taking that little seedling. Okay, and he 2 and 2 made 199. Okay, and I was so angry over the events that had happened at the time that I called him Inspector Clousopoulos. Okay, but here's what happened. I was at home, and you know, it was evening. I went to sleep and I had a dream. I had a dream that the police came in a blue Pajero and arrested me. In the morning, a blue Pajero turned up with 2 policemen in it and arrested me and took me away. And they took me miles away from home, and they locked me up in the cell with cowboy bars on it. Good job too, because I'd have freaked out if I couldn't have seen out. So that kind of kept me calm a bit. But I was saying to them, well, come on in, question me. What am I here for? Yeah, let me make a statement. What's going on? They wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me what was going on. So, well, first off, that's out of order. I don't know what I'm there for. I can't defend myself. You know, make sure you don't tell him. Then he can't respond, and we don't have to let him go. Right? So that's what was going on. So they took me away in the morning to court. So I'm now in court, standing before a judge, and there's the police there accusing me of stuff, right? So that's the first time I'm actually hearing what it is that I'm supposed to have done, okay? And the story went something like this. Him and another man, blah, 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 international drug dealing. International, what? Right? And also, blah, 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 he was found in the area of so-and-so, and we believe he's a spy for the Turks, right? I was like, what? Now, I was standing there, the spying charge, if it was a charge, they never actually charged me, it just took me to court without even charging me. The spying charge was a hanging offence, and at the time, okay, and the international drug dealing was a life sentence. So I wasn't going to come out of this well at all, was I? So I was like, is this really happening? Oh my God. So the police came and they started reading out the allegations and said about this other guy and what have you. and that he'd been handed over to another police force, and that I'd been brought here to court here. Right? So immediately, you know, they haven't charged me, but they're accusing me in court, and the other guy that they claimed that I'm working with, they've given him to another police force. So he can't actually be questioned in court now. All right? So the judge wasn't happy about this later on, but here's what happened next. They started saying what had happened. I'd been found in this restricted area, blah, 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 and they believed that I was a Turkish spy. And about this other guy with this seedling, okay, and that somehow I or we were international drug dealers. And they said to the judge that we went to his house, and the judge said, okay, did you find anything? They said, and we searched the house, and then we searched the car. He said, okay, so what did you find? And then we searched the surrounding area around the house. Okay, what did you find? And we also searched his shop. Okay, and now what? We'd like him held for 8 days so that we can search the rest of the island. This really happened in a courtroom, okay? Oh, one more thing. The policeman said that he, acting on a tip-off, they'd gone to a field and found the marijuana trees gone. And I made him repeat himself. And the judge told me I couldn't talk, but I made him repeat himself anyway. And he said the same thing again, that they'd gone to a field on a tip-off and found the marijuana trees gone. So they went to a field and found nothing. Okay, so they've searched everything and found nothing. And they also told the judge that they'd had me under surveillance for 2 weeks. And I thought, oh no, you haven't, have you? Because what happened was, you see, I was on honeymoon, okay? And when we were in the hotel rooms, I remember when the cleaners were coming in, they were looking at us like that, like they were scared of us. I was thinking, what's the matter with these people? Well, they bugged the rooms, didn't I? Dread to think what they heard and saw in that room, okay? Anyone else had the police as an audience during their honeymoon? Me. So, anyhow, so once I realised that, you know, it was one of those moments that, you know, your hair stands on end, but I had all this other stuff going on too, so I kind of put that to the back of my mind as best as I could. Then now the judge then asked my solicitor, do you have any objections to your client being held for 8 days? And she said, no. And I stood there and I thought, did she just say no? Is she kidding me? What is she here for? And then I just resigned myself to being locked up for at least 8 days, and goodness knows what was going to happen next. And the judge said to me, have you got any objections to being held for 8 days? Because I'd resigned myself to it by then, I said, I haven't got any objections whatsoever, Your Honour. And he said to me, what? And I said, I haven't got any objections to being held. And he looked at me like that. And then he started summing up. And he said to the police, you've had this man under surveillance for 2 weeks during my honeymoon. Yeah, great. Okay, you've had him under surveillance for 2 weeks. You've searched his house, his car, his shop, the surrounding area. Now you want to search the rest of the country. Hold him for 8 days and you search the rest of the country. Okay, and also you say that he's an international drug dealer, but you've gone to a field and you found nothing, and the other guy that you say was with him, you've handed over to another police force and you haven't brought him here. I find that very suspicious. He said, this is my summing up. My summing up is this. As far as the allegation of being an international drug dealer is concerned, there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever. So I can't hold him on that, and I'm not going to. He said, secondly, on this spying charge, you base this on the fact that he was walking in the military area, but that military area has free access for civilians, and he was snake hunting. So there's no reason to hold him for that either. So he's free to go. At that moment, I couldn't help it. I burst into tears because I thought they were going to lock me up, you know. Anyway, I got outside. There was two of the policemen there, the ones on the way to the court. One of them wanted to handcuff me, and the other two were arguing with him, saying, "Leave him alone. He ain't going to do nothing." Right? Those two there, I grabbed hold of him. I gave them both a hug. I said, "I don't hold anything against you. You're just doing your job. It's all right. Okay." And they were pretty shocked that I hugged them, but I was so happy that happened. Okay, anyway, we resolved all of that stuff, and that was out of the way. But I mean, I didn't know that I was arrested for being a spy and an international drug dealer when I spent the night in the cells, so I didn't know what was going on. But then, while I was in that courtroom and they were saying all of that stuff, then, you know, I was really concerned. What, you know, what the hell's going to happen here? You know, go out snake hunting, get done for being a spy, and get hung. That's great. Okay, next one. This was a few years ago with my former partner that some of you have seen on YouTube, and we'd gone into Cyprus, and we'd gone into the north side where the Turkish army are, and, you know, Turkish civilians and that. Okay, and I'll just make it plain now, I haven't got anything against Turkish people at all, nothing. Okay, so we went in there and we were trying to find old relics and buildings and stuff like that. So we ended up on the main roads, and we went for miles, and, you know, didn't really find what we were looking for. So we went back again, and then we went into the farmlands, and we started driving through the farmlands, and there was big signs up in some places saying decat, which is like attention. So wherever they were, we wouldn't go, but where they weren't, we'd drive. Okay, fair enough, because there's no sign saying you can't do it. Anyway, we were driving along a road, and I heard whistles going. And I looked up, and there was a flat mountain, and there was a load of soldiers on it. And I said, I think that they're blowing whistles because of us, maybe. But, you know, we haven't gone into any wrong area. Next thing we know, troops come running over with guns. Okay, 2 of them, gasping for breath, and they were very polite and everything. You know, we shared a drink together, a fizzy drink, and we had and we smoked, and we tried to communicate as best we could. And they told us, you have to go that way, you can't go back that way. So we had to carry on going. We just got stopped by a Turkish army. 2 army troops came running through this undergrowth here and stopped us. We didn't understand the word they were saying. Basically, we've come into an area we shouldn't be, and they were very civil to us. They were very polite. They weren't rude at all. He asked me for some water. I gave him some water. Then another 2 came, and we showed them our papers, and they said that, you know, we had to sort of go this way, so that's the way we're going. So we respect what they're saying. So we don't want to get arrested. And I went to roll a cigarette, and he took the tobacco and cigarette off me, and he rolled me this. We gave them some drinks, and he rolled me a roll up. So I'm going to smoke it. They were very nice. I must say, they were very, very polite people. We went for miles and miles. We saw all sorts of great stuff that no one's seen for years and years, like 40 years. People haven't seen this stuff. And then we got to a military base, and they let us through and stopped us on the other side and hauled us back. They were very polite. They weren't rude to us. They didn't touch us. They didn't do anything out of order to us at all. You know, they gave us water and stuff, but we were there for about 6 hours. Finally, after the commanders had come down and spoken to me, yes, I spoke to the commanders. They said, okay, listen, you can go. Right? They asked me what way we came through, and I told them, and they said, okay, because this has happened before, so, you know, we want to block that area. I said, all right, whatever. And they said, you can go, but you have to go with the police, all right? And the police came and escorted us, 1 car in front, 1 car behind, to the police station. Held there for about another hour and a half, being questioned. Again, they were very polite. There was one who was a little bit rude, but the other ones were telling him off. I can't understand Turkish, but I knew they were telling him off for being out of order. And they actually even gave us some figs when we left. They gave us a bag of figs. I was detained by Turkish troops and Turkish police. After they released me, they gave me figs. So we could take those with us. So we left. So those are my 2 occasions I've been detained by authorities on suspicion of being a spy and all the other rubbish that went with the first one as well, and also that I had an audience during my honeymoon. Well, that's the kind of life that James Bond 007 leads, isn't it?